Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for coming to my talk. SOS, Please Someone Help Me, is not just a really great song by Rihanna, but also how I felt in the past when dealing with this thing called shiny object syndrome. So I thought, why not come here and talk about it for a bit, right? A few things about myself. My name is Daniel Bodky. I'm from Germany. I work as a consultant mainly, but also as a trainer and speaker at Netways, and I meddle with all kinds of cloud native and DevOps related things. But let's get started with this thing called SOS, right? What is it, for those of you who have never heard of it? Stolen from Wikipedia, shiny object syndrome is the situation where people focus undue attention on an idea that is new and trendy, yet drop this as soon as something new takes its place. I see some recognition in some faces here. I can relate with this very much because whenever I get to learn new technologies, which is a privilege and opportunity, I think, I feel like Mr. Beutlin back here. I run straight out of my hut into the forest before I even know what I'm in for. And sometimes you run into brick walls. That can be physical brick walls, which hurts, but it can also be things like the CNCF landscape here, with like its abundance of available projects and tooling. And yeah, this right me there is talking to my colleagues after I picked up something new and trying to sell them on it. What I mean is, by now, we are actually spoiled for choice. So I'm from an observability background, having worked with Isinga in the past. And if you just zoom in on this small area of observability tools on the CNCF landscape, boom, you got 85 results there. I know 10 of those by name. I have used 3 to 4. And yes, that's how we get to the paradox of choice very easily, really fast, which is that too many choices can actually lead to something called decision paralysis, where more becomes less because we're all just human. And humans are afraid of making the wrong choice in the end. So what do they do instead? They cope. And for me, SOS proved as a very good coping mechanism because it kept me distracted, it kept me chasing for this perfect solution out there, for the tool that had to exist that would solve all my problems, and it kept me from locking in and making a final decision on one tool eventually. Instead, I kept doing everything, everywhere, all at once, especially in the beginning. I wanted to learn about all the public clouds, all the Kubernetes flavors, all the CI/CD, GitOps tools, and make sense of all of them at the same time, which obviously didn't work out very well. It never does it? So luckily it didn't get as bad as this guy for me. I didn't feel burned out, I just felt frustrated, mainly by myself, because I felt like I should get more from the effort I was putting in. I should see better results, I should pick up on the stuff easier and faster. So what did I do? I took a step back and asked myself, how can I organize my learning efforts a bit better? How can I keep this curiosity, oh, there's a shiny thing, I need to try it out, but actually capitalize on it better? And I came up with some things I want to share with you. And number one would be to split it up. So I found myself searching for one tool, solving 5 to 6 of my problems at hand at the same time. And those tools are rare or even impossible to find. So I started asking, what technology do I need to look at right now? What problems do I need to solve it right now, one at a time? I also started looking at the boring stuff first, the stuff which isn't marketed as shiny, which is at the end of its hype cycle, because those tools tend to be better adopted, better supported, and once you find those big boring parts of the puzzle, it's easier to fill in all the right small tools. I also started to use the right tool for the right job. I think this is a fallacy we all are prone of, bending our favorite tooling to use cases it is not meant for to solve in the beginning, just because it's so nice and convenient to keep using the tool. And I also started persisting my findings by doing things I do right here, taking notes, blogging, even microblogging like on Twitter, giving talks, just persisting my learnings in one way or the other so I could come back to them later, recycle them, make comparisons, and so on. And some of you might think now, that's still SOS, Daniel, but with extra steps, what are you doing? You're actually putting in more work now than back then when you were struggling so much. And that's a typical yes, but answer, because now I can actually capitalize on the perks that come with SOS, which for me are, I know about a huge variety of tools which are out there trying to solve slightly different problems in slightly different ways. I stay up to date with most of their developments because I prepared blog posts in the past or tweeted about them in a small thread, and this helps me making more and better informed decisions. I want to end this Ignite with a quote by Kunal Kushwaha from a conference earlier this year, where he said, "Don't try to learn everything about something, instead try to learn something about everything," which resonated with me a lot because it perfectly describes my curiosity, and that it's not about getting rid of our curiosity or SOS for that matter, but it's about leveraging it in a way that's sustainable in our daily lives and our jobs, where we have to keep up with new and emerging technologies anyways. So at the end of the day, it's just about finding a way that works for us personally. That's my talk. I included a dog in the end. Thank you very much for listening.